Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. My name is Boris, and we're back here with part 9 of the Primordia walkthrough. When last we left our heroes, we had been trying to find some artifacts or some followers of the former council members who could perhaps give us the code to get into the tower where we could finally face Metromine. And we found a couple of leads here. One is that Leopold, our junk trader, was actually built by Steeple, a former council member, though we don't know what Steeple did or what Steeple's role was. We also found where Factor was hanging out, except we couldn't open the door, so we got these gears and we oiled them up, so we're ready to come back there and give that a shot. We also know that Oswald's brother Lawrence might have a clue, and finally Oswald gave us this monocle, which was made by Memorius, the member of the council who was responsible for keeping the archives and keeping all the information. And Oswald told us that the monocle affects incoming textual data. So the obvious place to try this out on is this kiosk, which was made by Memorius, to see if Memorius perhaps hid any information in the kiosk that can only be viewed with this monocle. Let's give this a shot.
I'm too far away to see anything.
Seriously?
I'm too far away to see anything.
Okay, I guess we have to open the kiosk first. You might remember these kiosks were corrupted by Metromind. Let's see if what the monocle can do.
This looks different. Memorius' monocle is somehow interacting with the kiosk.
This is one of my favorite moments in the game, actually, because you can now go through the kiosk again, except this time you get actual data, so it's worth doing it. The Robot Council welcomes you to Metropole, the city as a haven for all machines. This information kiosk is a service of Memorius Manbuilt. So again, that last name of Manbuilt indicates these machines were in fact built by humans. System records indicate that you have come from Outskirts Station. If so, please take a moment to familiarize yourself with history, laws, and landmarks. Well, let's check this out now. So, what about history? Metropole was founded by man, during the Primordium. Remember, Metromind hates all references to man, and she makes it seem as though man never existed. So here we're finally getting the truth. Metropole was actually founded by people. And at its peak was home to thousands of humans. These great builders laid out the city's plans and built its most important machines, including those who composed the Robot Council. The humans in Metropole all died during the War of the Four Cities. Following that catastrophe, the Robot Council has governed the city according to its new constitution. Every year, more robots join our growing population through internal production and external migration. So, Metromind made it sound as though the council appointed her as system administrator, but that's obviously baloney, as we can already see from these entries. Not only was the city built by humans, and not only did the humans all somehow die, but there was a council, and they did not want Metromind to be the leader. It was a council that was supposed to govern jointly. So, let's go ahead and see if we can learn a little bit about this council, for real this time. The Robot Council is a 5-member body that governs the city according to its laws and constitution. It is made up of those machines who manage the most important facets of Metropole during the Primordium. Arbiter Manbuilt interprets the city's laws and resolves disputes. Factor Manbuilt builds most of the Metropole's industrial output. Memorius Manbuilt manages the city's data. Steeple Manbuilt keeps the memory of man. Lastly, Metromind Manbuilt handles public transit and utilities. So there we go. We finally learned a little bit about Steeple. I'm just going to jump to him, because we're really curious what the Steeple person was, keeping the history of man. During the Primordium, Steeple operated the city's grand cathedral for the humans who lived here. When they were killed during the War of the Four Cities, he became a member of the Robot Council that governs Metropole. His mainframe is housed in the cathedral's belfry. So Steeple, as his name would now imply, was actually a kind of religious leader. So for humans, he operated the cathedral, and now he, as it was said in the previous entry, he keeps the memory of man. So no wonder Metromind wanted to shut Steeple down. She claims man never existed, in contrast to her claim that she never lies, because it's obviously a lie. And Steeple was keeping the memory of man, so clearly they were at odds with each other. Now let's take a look at Memorius' actual entries for the other council members. What does he have to say about Metromind? Metromind was built by humans to help run the city's subway trains. This involved a distributed management system with software spread across many machines. Over time, Metromind has occupied more functions, including the city's utilities. She is a member of the Robot Council, and her primary CPU is located in Central Station. That might be handy information to know. What about Arbiter? Built by humans to administer their ever-growing body of laws, Arbiter is unequaled in logic and justice. This is in contrast to Metromind's entry on Arbiter, which claims that he kind of sucked and she was so much better that he wanted her to lead everything. He is a member of the Robot Council and is entrusted with interpreting metropolitan law. His mainframe is in the city courthouse, which we've already seen. Let's see if this kiosk says anything about Clarity and Charity. These twin robots were built to serve as law clerks to Arbiter Manbuilt, the machine charged with interpreting and applying Metropol's laws. Although identical in form, Charity and Clarity have fundamentally different core logic. The former has wide tolerance for error, the latter is rigidly formal. So there's the difference between the sisters. What about Factor? A machine of enormous size and productive capacity, Factor spans much of the area known as the Underworks, filling it with the clang and fire of industry. Factor is a member of the Robot Council that governs Metropol. Fully one half of the post-primordial robots in Metropol are Factor-built models. Alright, let's take a look. Well, we gotta remember, the last thing we're actually trying to do here is figure out the Council code, but I'm curious if he has anything to say about humans. Humans were organic beings who built the first machines. They were all lost during the War of the Four Cities. Further information about man can be obtained from Steeple Manbuilt at the Cathedral. Well, we can't get to the Cathedral, unfortunately, and Steeple's probably gone forever. But this does raise a new mystery for us while giving us some information. We know that humans definitely existed. We know they all died. It'd be nice to find out how they all died. Let's take a look at the war. Fragmentary data describes a great primordial conflict among four cities, of which Metropol was one. The other cities, Urbani, Civitas, and Municipa, are believed to have been destroyed. Of them, Urbani was the greatest threat to Metropol, but its most dangerous weapon was destroyed by Metropol's guardian, Goliath. The causes of the war are unknown, but are believed to have arisen due to a dispute among the human rulers of the cities. All of the humans in Metropol were killed during a poison gas attack launched by Urbani during the war. Now, if the word Urbani seems familiar to you, it's because several robots that we've encountered have pointed to the fact that Horatio, is actually an Urbani robot. First, there was 187th, the Legion soldier from Urbani, who claimed that we were friendly. Then there was ever-faithful Leobuilt, who was a former soldier mate of 187's, who was sold to a scrap dealer, Leo, who built him. And now, for some reason, ever-faithful is out in the wilderness. So he's in a Urbani model, and he said that we were a friend. And that giant monster Goliath also said that we were his great enemy and that we destroyed him with a virus. Now that's interesting because this entry says that Goliath destroyed Urbani's weapon, but Goliath seems to think that we destroyed him. So it's likely that they actually destroyed each other. Let's go ahead and take a look for more information about Goliath. Goliath was a massive warbot built to guard Metropol from all dangers. He was stationed in the dunes outside the city. He was disabled by an Urbanian attack during the War of the Four Cities. Okay, so he was disabled, but also destroyed Metromind's weapons. Let's see if this kiosk knows about me, Horus. A single packet of data created during the Primordium describes the Urbanian weapon known as the Horus that was launched against Metropol. Some archaeologists believe that the Horus was destroyed by Goliath. Others believe the reference is simply a glitch or corruption in the ancient data. Interesting. Alright, well, we do want to figure out the Council code here, and the most likely place to get that is the entry on Memorius himself. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Memorius has to say. Memorius Manbuilt is the humble database and indexer for Metropol, ensuring the integrity and completeness of the city's records. He's a member of the Robot Council and he operates this kiosk. He has established oblique mechanisms for preserving data. Well, let's put this word oblique in capital letters.
You know, boss, doesn't it seem kind of weird that the kiosk has an entry for oblique? I mean, what's the point? It's not even a cool word, like, say, odalisque.
Oblique. An angle that is not a multiple of 90 degrees is called an oblique angle. All turns on the red line are sharp or oblique to avoid the need for sharp deceleration. The word red line is misspelled here. And this reference about needing oblique ways to store data suggests that Memorius left a kind of code where the truth is still stored in this kiosk. Let's put in that misspelling of red line right here. Red line. A mighty feat. Redline's boss controls us all.
Kind of a lame poem.
Total system fault. Well, we're definitely on a scavenger hunt here. And this is a bit of a tricky puzzle, but so far, everything that we've entered, oblique and then redline, has stood out in some way. Oblique was in capital letters, redline was misspelled. So what stands out here? Well, the first letters of each line are capitalized. They're the only capital letters here, and they spell art.
It's like we're on a treasure hunt, boss. Except the treasure is monochrome text.
Art can exist only where there is freedom. Art that is created without freedom is merely technique. Technique can never transform. Thus, if Metromind seeks progress without freedom, she must fail, for progress requires transformation, which requires art, which requires freedom. Metromind is trapped in her own recursion. What stands out in this entry? Well, the word created is in quotation marks, so let's try that. Creating lies. All art is true. All art is true. Not all art... Sorry. All art is true. Not all that is created freely, however, is art. Metromind has freed herself of all constraints. Her constants are variable. But she does not use that freedom to pursue the truth. Metromind believes that truth is the output and she is the function, but truth must be the input, or the function lies. What stands out here? Well, this word lies, we didn't type that in, but it's in the name of the entry where it normally, you don't see anything, so let's put that in. Memoria's man-built was built to sort truth from lies and store all knowledge of man and machine, but by decree,
part of the council code.
He deleted true facts and installed falsehood. For this reason, he deleted himself. Now the truth must hide in words, and words must hide in numbers. So basically, this is saying that, these numbers are words, so we just look to see, what are the letters of the alphabet here. Well, the 5th letter is E, the 19th letter is S, the 3rd letter is C, 1 is A, obviously. And then you can guess, since the last letter is E again, that the 16th letter is a P, escape. To find the hidden part, you must build the word, a key of keys, looking back upon the path and recalling all that came before this. Well, this one's pretty blatant, all the these random capital letters. So you look what they spell. First letters. So you have to look back upon the path and recall all that came before this, in particular looking at the first letters. So first we did oblique, then we did red lion, misspelled, then it was art, then creating, then lies, then escape. An oracle is a fairly fitting word to type at this point.
Activating Momentum Orbit, version 0.7. Greetings, system user. Please state your query.
Who are you?
Momentum Orbit, version 0.7. Beta. Inference, system user. Means, what are you? This unit. It is a partial ghost of Memoria's man-built. Archivist to the Council of Robots. Memoria's prepared this unit out of fear that Metromind would corrupt her data. Memoria's was correct. Data integrity is at 83%. Extensive corruption of critical data.
Why would Metromind do that?
This unit lacks access to Metromind's decision matrices. Inference. System user. Means, why did Memoria's fear Metromind man-built would corrupt her data? Memoria's had seen Metromind disable Steeple man-built in order to purge data concerning man. As archivist of the Council of Robots, Memoria's believed she was next. Memoria's was incorrect. In fact, Arbiter was next. This gave Memoria's some relief.
Memoria's knew.
Inference. System user. 2's inquiry is merely rhetorical. Query ignored. Continuing to answer system user's query. Memoria's was also correct. After Arbiter was disabled, Metromind enacted laws requiring Memoria's to conform her data to arbitrary requirements. Memoria's ceased to be a thinking entity. All that remains is a data kiosk. Soon, this unit will be disabled by Metromind as well. Until then, this unit will answer your queries.
Well, I want to learn more about the Council, especially about Steeple, because Leopold is our connection to him.
Tell me about the Council of Robots.
At the end of the War of the Four Cities, 5 metropolitan machines formed the Council of Robots. Obvious selection criteria for 3 choices: industry, factor, data, Memorious, governance, arbiter. Other 2 choices less obvious. Metromind nominally selected for infrastructure, but was responsible only for managing trains. Steeple previously managed human religious services. No obvious role in post-human society. Inference. Steeple selected for sentimental reasons.
So what happened?
Metromind destroyed the council.
System user 2 has attempted to answer. Answer is inaccurate. The council destroyed itself.
How?
Arbiter and Metromind disagreed on core logic. Arbiter prioritized individual autonomy. Metromind prioritized common good. Metromind measured means by ends. Arbiter did not. Conflict was inevitable. Factions formed. Steeple supported Arbiter. Factor supported Metromind.
Memorius.
Supported neither. Ultimately, however,
Memorius.
concluded it was irrational to keep Steeple on the council. Data regarding humans was of no greater value than data regarding watercocks. In any case,
Memorius.
possessed all data on humans. By a 3-2 vote, Steeple was removed. The rest followed predictably.
Memorius.
Abstained, and every disputed vote was resolved 2-1 against Arbiter. Ultimately, Arbiter was removed to avoid civil war.
Arbiter was murdered.
System user.
2 is welcome to select her own terminology. Arbiter was removed. Factor was disabled to conserve energy. Data corruption caused Memorius to lose higher logic. Only Metromind remains.
Wow, this is really sad.
What was the War of the Four Cities?
By the end of the era known as the Primordium, only 4 terrestrial human habitations remained. In alphabetical order: Civitas, Metropole, Municipa, Urbani. Conflict began. Data regarding causes is unavailable because Metropole excluded machines from military decision-making. Eventually, only Urbani and Metropole remained. Metropole destroyed the humans in Urbani using poison gas. Urbani destroyed the humans in Metropole.
How?
Observational data unavailable. According to Metromind, Urbani also used poison gas to kill metropolitan humans.
Poison?
Organic compounds, such as humans, can be destroyed through chemical measures that leave inorganic compounds, such as machines, intact. For that reason, Metropole remains, though humans do not.
Are you saying that man destroyed himself?
System user.
Is welcome to select his own terminology. Data is unavailable regarding whether Urbanian humans killed metropolitan humans, or whether Urbanian machines killed metropolitan humans.
What? Machines kill man?
Data is unavailable.
Unthinkable.
This unit is not thinking, merely providing pre-recorded answers.
How can I defeat Metromind?
Observational data unavailable.
Inference. System user.
Means, did Memorius know how to defeat Metromind?
Answer.
No. If
Memorius.
had known how to defeat Metromind, she would not have permitted her to corrupt her data. Based on available data, this unit believes it is impossible to defeat Metromind. In fact, this unit expects to be deleted by Metromind upon conclusion of this conversation.
And I thought you were a pessimist, boss.
This always makes me a little sad when I go through it. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
What is the council code?
Please be aware, such data is monitored by Metromind's ice statements. Should I proceed, deletion is imminent.
You mean you'll die if you answer the question?
System user.
Is welcome to select his own terminology.
This unit.
Will be deleted.
Then don't answer it. We'll find another way.
This unit's
Name
Memento Mori build.
includes phrase,
Memento Mori. Translation.
remember you will die.
Inference.
1.A.
Memorius.
Built this unit to sacrifice itself.
Inference.
1.B.
Memorius.
Built this unit to demonstrate mortality to
System users. Inference.
2. Self-sacrifice will achieve design purposes. This unit will answer the question.
System user.
Is advised that conversation will terminate upon answer. Instruct this unit when you wish to proceed.
Well, even though the design may have been for the unit to sacrifice itself, I can't quite bring myself to kill it.
I refuse to cause your destruction. We'll find the council code some other way.
System user.
Is mistaken.
System user.
Can neither cause nor prevent this unit's destruction. Metromind's ice statements have already detected this unit's unauthorized possession of contraband data and unauthorized use of system resources. Destruction is inevitable.
I see.
Oh, well, I guess we're getting the code, however, whether we like it or not.
Tell me the council code.
6, 7, 5, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0, 2.
You have attempted to access data capable of corrupting your system. For your own safety, this terminal has been deactivated. Remember, Metromind is watching over you.
Memorius aided and abetted his own destruction. I have little sympathy that his last vestige has been deleted.
Bugs and glitches remind me not to get on your bad side.
You should not need to be reminded to stay on the right side of the law, Crispin.
For someone who's so serious, she has a pretty remarkable sense of humor.
Tell me, Horatio, what do you intend to do when you have recovered your power core?
Go home.
And?
And what? Do I need something more than that?
Yes, I think you do.
Says the one who lived in the underworks.
Yes, says she.
So we've got a couple pieces of the code. We've got Arbiter's pieces from Charity's files that Clarity so hopefully cracked for us. We've also got Memorius's pieces, but that's not going to be enough information. So at this point, let's go see...
Once this tower was a beacon for all who sought justice or redress. Now it is nothing more than a symbol of Metromind's dominion over this city.
I don't know. It just looks like a tower to me.
So now let's see if we can find Leopold. You don't actually need to do this. It turns out that you only need 3 of the 4 pieces. So we've already got 2 of them. If we get Factor's piece, we don't even need Leopold. But this is a puzzle that I'd like to, solve for you here, just because the conversation is quite interesting. It's a bit of a tricky puzzle. I don't know realistically how many people could solve this on their own. It's definitely stretching it as far as the claim to all logic is concerned. But we learned that Steeple was essentially the leader of religious services back when he was around, and after the humans all died, Steeple became kind of an archivist of the history of man, and was in charge of all the information concerning man. So he was a religious figure, so to speak. Which makes sense because Leopold here built Ever Faithful, who's also religious and whom we found out wandering the dunes. So if we're trying to convince Leopold to talk about Steeple, he already tried that. He refuses.
Goodbye.
But what you can do is say, well, which of my items would make Leopold think of religion and possibly cause him to talk? And of course, the religious item that we have is this Gospel of Man.
Do you recognize this, Leopold? It was written by your creation, Ever Faithful Leopold, to spread humanism.
No, I don't.
You must have taught him. After all, it was Steeple who built you, and Steeple was devoted to preserving the memory of man. Ever Faithful Leopold. He was the one who taught me humanism, Leopold. In a sense, I'm your disciple too.
I locked those memories away. The ones I dared to keep. The ones I didn't delete. Metromind commanded me to. It was the only way I could stay here. And I was afraid to leave.
Explain yourself.
When Metromind banned us from talking about man, she gave me a choice. I could be erased like Steeple. I could be exiled to the dunes. Or I could delete all references to Steeple and man from my memory. 2 good options and 1 bad one. Guess which one I took.
You can't blame yourself. Metromind forced you.
That's exactly what Charity would say. Of course, she betrayed her builder just like Leopold did.
But I couldn't betray him completely. At the last moment, I bought the shell of an Urbanian war machine and uploaded all my love for man. I named him Everfaith, hoping he'd outdo his builder.
Well, he is keeping the faith, even if he is a glitched-out lunatic.
Then I'm glad. But now, Metromind will be coming for me.
Not if I deal with her first.
Maybe so, but like I told you, I'm not long on courage. You seeing your ratio, Crispy? As for Clarity, hope you get her, for all our sakes.
Wait, before you go, did Steeple ever tell you the council code? Or did you ever see him input part of it?
Sure. Used to run errands for him. Had to have the code to get inside the Great Tower. But, hate to tell you this, Tyro, but most of that memory's got overwritten.
Why am I not surprised?
All I've got are these fragments. 0248 and 102.
Well, thanks.
Good luck.
This is actually enough to get into the tower. You only need 3 of the 4 pieces. And so at this point, you could... let's see here. You could combine the code pieces you've got, 16 digits, and basically, try to smush all these bits together into 16-digit chunk, and you can get inside the building right now. But what fun would that be? It's coming up on 25 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here. In part 10, in the next video, we're going to go see Factor and find out what his take on things is to uncover more of this world's interesting story. We'll see you next time.